Her wedding vows to include a brand partnership hashtag. I wish I was kidding. But here's the part that finally broke me. Fast forward a year. I've been covering my parents' bills religiously, every month without fail. Even when I got hit with unexpected medical bills after a minor surgery, I kept paying. I figured once they were stable again, maybe we could come up with a longer-term plan. Maybe I'd help them find a financial advisor. Maybe we'd have a real talk about boundaries. Maybe they'd even acknowledge just once how much I'd done. Instead, I got a phone call from Jake. He sounded way too cheerful for someone who'd just gotten fired again. "Hey, sis," he said. "Just wanted to let you know the good news. We bought a house." I sat there in stunned silence. A house. Turns out my parents had reallocated the retirement fund I'd been building. For them. They used it, the fund I had been quietly, painfully funding for them every month, as a down payment for a $450,000 house in a trendy suburb, for Jake and Sarah. It's just what they needed to really start their life together, my mom said, like they were newlyweds instead of a full-blown train wreck with matching ring lights. I felt like the air had been knocked out of my lungs. I couldn't believe it. All the sacrifices I'd made, the quiet ways I'd held them up, they just handed it to Jake. Again. So I cut them off. I called my bank. I stopped the payments. I closed the retirement account. Then I sent them a short email. "I'm done. I can't keep sacrificing my future to prop up Jake's. If you ever want to have a real, honest relationship with me again, one built on mutual respect, you know where to find me. But until then, I wish you well." What happened next? Shock, denial, rage. My mom left 13 voicemails in a single day. Dad tried to text me gifs of sad puppies. Jake sent me a 4-word message. Wow, cold as hell. Sarah posted a vague Instagram story with the caption, "Some people just can't be happy for others. Family drama. Haters gonna hate." But here's the thing. They didn't expect me to actually walk away. Not the nerdy daughter, not the reliable one, not the human safety net. The silence that followed. It shattered everything they thought they knew about me, about what I'd tolerate, about what I'd forgive. I wish I could say they came around, that they apologized, that Jake found a job he stuck with, or Sarah became a real influencer. But life isn't a movie. Sometimes you draw a line in the sand and no one rushes to pull you back. And sometimes that's exactly what sets you free. If you're still reading, maybe you've been the responsible one, the fixer, the quiet glue, holding everything together. And maybe, just maybe, you needed someone to tell you, it's okay to stop. It's okay to choose yourself. It's okay to say enough. Because love without boundaries isn't love, it's servitude. And you deserve better. The price of enabling a dream. It all started when Sarah launched a GoFundMe to buy herself a Gucci bag. Her reasoning? It would help her brand. The audacity of it could power a small country. Things got even more surreal when she and my brother Jake announced they were expecting their first child. Most people would start budgeting, maybe set up a savings account. Not them. They decided it was the perfect time to become family lifestyle influencers. Naturally, they asked me to build them a website for free. "Exposure is better than payment," Sarah said. "You're just on a computer all day anyway." When I suggested they try Squarespace, she burst into tears and told my parents I didn't support their dreams. By the time baby number 2 arrived, yes, they thought one wasn't enough, they were living in an apartment so run down the elevator had been temporarily out of order since the Obama administration. Sarah posted boho-filtered pics with captions like, "Living that authentic life," and "You don't need luxury to be rich in love," while privately begging my parents for money. Anytime I achieved something, a promotion, buying a condo, maxing out my 401k, they twisted. When I won an award at work, Sarah posted a rant on Instagram about how career women were missing life's true purpose. When I bought my condo, Jake whined to our parents that it wasn't fair their kids had to share a room, and I tried to help them. I offered to teach Jake basic coding. I sent Sarah real resources on building a social media career. I even offered to pay for financial counseling. But they weren't interested in stability, just building their brand. Then came the call. You know the kind. 3 a.m. Heart-sinking, emergency tone. But it wasn't an emergency. It was Sarah chirping, "OMG, we're pregnant again? Number 3, isn't that amazeballs?" She launched into a monologue about how they'd manifested their dream home in Maple Heights, where homes start at $500,000. And then she said it. "We need you to buy it for us. Mom and Dad think it's a great idea." I had to mute the phone because I was laughing so hard. When I finally said no, gently, Sarah snapped, "But you make so much just playing. With computers all day. Our apartment isn't safe. Our neighbor has a motorcycle." The next night, dinner at my parents' place confirmed my worst suspicion. Fancy lasagna. Always a red flag. Sure enough, midway through the meal, the guilt-tripping began. "We know you're good with money," Mom said, passing garlic bread like it was hush money. "Jake and Sarah really need this." Dad chimed, in with a gem. "When I was your age, family helped family. Your uncle helped me buy our first house. Spoiler, Uncle Bob loaned them $5,000 in 1985. Not the same." I explained I was already helping them with their bills. They didn't care. They decided I was selfish. A month later, I logged into the retirement account I'd set up for them, where I'd been depositing $2,000 every month. Balance? $0. I thought it was a glitch. It wasn't. Turns out they gave all of it, $175,000, to Jake and Sarah for the down payment. Money meant for their future, stolen for a fantasy. When I confronted them, Dad said, "Well, we had to do something. You refused to help." I walked out. Sarah responded by subtweeting me, painting herself as a martyr. Her post got 34 likes, 3 from her alt accounts. From the outside, their life looked golden, matching pajamas on their front porch, a YouTube channel, living our best life with the Williamsons, curated routines. But reality cracks when you can't pay. The electric bill. Jake lost his job again. Sarah claimed it was a blessing so he could focus on being her content manager. They maxed out credit cards, buying ring lights, a podcast mic, they recorded 2 episodes, and endless props for staged photos. 4 months in, the SUV was repossessed. Their lawn was overgrown. Amazon deliveries stopped. They started dodging my parents, who were now selling antiques to buy groceries. Mrs. Peterson, their neighbor, was letting them run an extension cord from her house to keep their fridge running. Then, the final spiral. Sarah posted fewer boho quotes and more tear-streaked rants about haters and toxic energy. Jake and Sarah sold the house behind everyone's back, told the buyers it was a medical emergency, and convinced them to wire cash directly to their account. They disappeared in the middle of the night, taking everything, including light bulbs and the doorbell camera. They also maxed out my parents' emergency credit card with a $5,000 cash advance for groceries. My parents were devastated. Their golden children had vanished with their retirement, their trust, and even Dad's fishing gear, the last thing he had from his own father. Months later, Mom showed up at my door, 10 years older and finally broken, and she apologized, for real this time. Dad followed, quieter but remorseful. So now I help again, with boundaries. I make sure they eat, that medications are covered. But no more blank checks. They're in counseling. They're learning. As for Jake and Sarah, they vanished, changed numbers, deleted everything. Sarah tried to launch a new Instagram under a fake name. I found it because she still used her favorite hashtags, Muchablast and Living My Best Life. The only update we got was a postcard, no return address. Palm trees on the front. On the back, in Sarah's handwriting, "Kids are doing great, living our dream." Don't try to contact us. We're done with the negative energy. P.S. Sorry about the credit card. We needed it for gas. Postmarked. Orlando. Fitting. My mom asked me recently if I think Jake will ever come back. I told her the truth. Probably. When he needs more money. But next time, we'll all know how to say no.